Okay, welcome back. In this video, we're going to be looking at how to use the random number generator behavior to spawn random objects. But instead of using spawn points, we're going to use movements to create some of the randomness. So the way we would go about doing that is, let's go ahead and add a basic shape to be our cloner. We're going to do similar than we did last time. We're going to just call this 1, and we're going to make it non-solid. It's better for cloners to be non-solid. So the next thing that we're going to do is that we're actually going to give it a bullet movement. So go ahead and add a behavior to our cloner as a bullet, and let's reduce the speed a good amount down to probably about 1 meter per second. So now if we press play, our our cloner is moving, and we're going to create a quick event that's going to say that when system runtime repeat every, let's say, 3 seconds, let's make our cloner number 1 movement, let's make it mirror its velocity. So it's just going to turn in the other direction every 3 seconds. Okay, so if we test that, we can start to see that this hopefully will work. So now we have an object that's moving above us, and it's just moving back and forth every 3 seconds. The next thing we're going to do is we're going to add an object that is going to be cloning. So go ahead and find an object. Let's use the aha flower this time around, and let's as well turn on its gravity so we make sure it falls. Okay, so how do we make our objects start spawning at random times these aha flowers? So the first thing we would have to do is give one of our characters on their screen. Let's make Gaia, just to use her again. Let's give her the random number generator, and the same as last time, you can set the values of which numbers you want it to generate from 0 to 10. Let's use again from 0 to 2. So Gaia is going, whenever we ask her for a random number, she's going to give us something between 0 and 2. Enter and exit out of that. So if we press play, nothing happens yet. Until we ask Gaia to generate a random number, she actually won't start giving it to us. So the first thing we're going to do is that we're going to ask Gaia for random numbers. So we're going to say whenever the system runtime repeat every, let's do again half a second. Let's make Gaia random number, generate a random number. So every half a second, Gaia's going to generate a new random number. The other thing we're going to do is we're going to create an event that's going to say that when Gaia's random number is equal to 0, let's make our cloner clone objects. Let's make it clone the aha flower. So only when Gaia is equal to 0, the cloner will clone aha flowers, but you guys can imagine what's going to happen now, that it's just going to clone, whenever it hits 0, it's going to clone in a stream. So we don't want it to do that. We're going to add another condition that's going to say not only when the random number is equal to 0, but let's make it and the system runtime repeat every half a second. 0.5. Confirm. So now we just said when Gaia's random number is equal to 0, and every 5 seconds, when these two conditions are true, our spawn point is going to spawn a new flower, but we don't really know when Gaia is going to be equal to 0. So ideally it's going to be random. And every time we play the game, it's going to be a little bit different. If we want to increase the number of times that this spawns, we can play around with Gaia's parameters. So if we just give her an option between 1 and 2, between 0 and 1, then it's going to increase the odds of us spawning, or of the cloner spawning a new point. And similarly, if we increase her options of spawning numbers, then now we only have a 1 in 6 chance of our cloner cloning every half a second. So it's going to happen a lot more sporadically. So this is another way you can generate objects or spawn objects for your games. This was a quick example. I hope this is helpful, and I really look forward to seeing what ideas you come up with using these functionality. Thank you for following along.